Hello everybody, it is me, Darcy. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the podcast, the Unnamed Podcast, where I sit here with this guy for about time talking rubbish or whatever else comes to my mind, usually my mind, because he does nothing. Guys, we are back. It has been a while.
Poor timing on that one.
So I take that back. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do nothing. He does, in fact, ruin what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
No, but guys, yes, it has been a while since we have been here. Like probably 3-ish weeks. Maybe?
It's been about 3 weeks. Yeah. I think it has actually been 3 weeks.
Mainly because I was away. And we will talk about that a little bit later and talk about other things a little bit later. But guys, let's get back into that routine, that lovely pattern that we always follow. Let's do some little channel news.
Indeed.
Now, before Kris gets started, which I will let him do, we've missed 3 weeks. There's 3 weeks of channel news that we could talk about. Maybe we'll touch on a few things, but we're mainly going to talk about the week that has been, because it's easy.
Fair.
So, Kris, take us away. What's the week that's been?
The week that's been Monday was Uncharted. Darcy found something to do as a solo play.
Yeah, man. I was just sitting there, and I've been talking a little bit about losing Spyro is losing something that is really easy for me to just go and do, and not have to think about, and just be able to chuck on and go. And I've been looking for things to do, and then I totally remembered that my computer screen sits on top of a PlayStation.
It does. It really does.
And I was like, oh well, PlayStations have games. And then I remembered that I had all 4 Uncharted games. And I'm like, that's
because you had the collection.
Yeah. And I was like, that's a series. And I was like,
that's a long series.
Cool. So I honestly have no idea how long it's going to take. But I'm going to play through that whole series as well. So that gives me another whole thing. I'm also going to try and get Space Marine 2 up and running. I can play it without any issue. I'm just, because I played on my computer. I'm not 100% sure if it will recording at the same time.
Oh, that's a fair point, actually.
Or if it will freeze. Some games are like that. Some games play perfectly fine, but then once I try recording them, they freeze. Or
like Call of Duty for me.
Call of Duty doesn't do too bad for me, but what does sometimes, and I haven't tested it since the day I was talking to you about it, but my Helldivers has just been crashing every time I open it recently.
Oh, yes, that's right. And we were going to do a recording of that. So that's another thing we should add. We were going to do a recording of that. We started having problems.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea. It didn't update, and then literally it would get to the point where I'm on the ship.
Yeah.
And then the second I would try and do something on the ship, it would be cool.
No.
And then I'd be like, cool, okay, so you're letting me do stuff? It's like, yeah, go for it, mate. And then I'd be like, cool, so I'm going to go to the map. And it'd be like, yeah, go to the map. And I'm like, okay, I'm on the map. I'm picking a mission now. Yeah, do it, mate. Okay, I've picked this mission. Nah, fuck you, we're crashing.
No, fuck you, so you can do that. Fuck you.
So that's it. That's been happening to me in Helldivers. And I think it's hilariously funny because it's, I was looking up because I'm like, why is it crashing? People are like, oh yeah, if your game's crashing when it's starting, then it's probably your computer's not good enough. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, I've been playing for months now.
Yes.
Years even. And
technically, yes.
It's never done this before. Secondly, it's not crashing on startup. It's letting me play the game, but only if playing the game
it's crashing on mission startup.
Is walking around my spaceship. It is letting me play, it's doing that. But it's just being like, no, you can't actually go into, and no, you stay here on the ship where it's nice and safe.
Nice, safe, you can change your weapons.
But I want to fight, guys, and they're like, no.
Have a look at your loadout and your suit.
Sit down, baby, don't move. And so, yeah, that's been happening to me in Helldivers. As I said, it's really weird, because no one could really explain to me why it's letting me go into the game, run and jump around the ship, no issue, but the second I try and go and do a mission, it's like, no. Actually, no, that's a lie. It wasn't when I was trying to go to the mission. I've just remembered. It was the mission would accept, I'd get in my helipod, I would launch, and then as I was launching, it's like, nah. So, yeah.
Yes, you can play this. Hold on. No.
I just wasn't able to make Planetfall.
Maybe it's a new thing. Maybe there's a rare chance that you get shot out just like shot out in space.
No.
So you're just not getting landfall because you're getting shot out in space, but it's like a 1 in 100 chance.
Like,
but you just keep getting it, so you're one unlucky motherfucker.
It's just like, it looks at you and just goes, look, I think it's best if you don't take on these guys.
You're going solo? Oh. No.
Nah, yeah, you gotta, you need that.
Bring in one person.
But yeah, so that's why there hasn't been any Helldivers, even though, you know, like, there's been stuff happening with Helldivers, and, you know, we tend to try and play it every time something new happens.
Yes.
I just literally have not been able to get onto the planets. It launches me, and the reason that I was like, this is super suspicious, is it was always at the same time. Like, it wasn't like just crashing at a random time of the launch. It was like, it would hit a specific point and then be like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not accident. But yeah, back to the main point. So I was sitting there with my PlayStation and went, oh, well, you know, Uncharted's a good game. I haven't played it in a while. Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, I'll start Uncharted. And yeah, as I said, I honestly can't remember how long the games are.
No, I don't know.
But I figure if, you know, they're probably somewhere in that like 10-hour range, maybe even longer.
I'm thinking longer because it's a very story-driven game. So they tend to be at least a little bit longer.
It's also a platform and with collectors in it. So that going back to make sure you get all the collectibles as part of them. So anyway, I can't.
So you're doing 100% again?
No,
not in this one.
Just the story.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know where all the collectibles are. Probably.
Maybe.
Look, some stuff happened. I'm very confused. Like, at one point, I'm like playing the game. It's like, got to install. I'm like, why? Why do you got to install? What are you installing? And then it was just.
Oh, there was a point where PlayStation did that.
And then it was just flashing numbers at me, and it was like, because it'd be like, yeah, we've got 65% installed, and I'm like, cool. And it's like, it's gonna take another like 35 seconds. I'm like, sweet. And then it's like, okay, we've got 40% installed, and we're back for 2 minutes. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. No, initially when the PS4 came out, there was a thing that some games did, and it was it downloaded part of the game.
Oh, I hate that.
And then you would start playing it, and then as you were playing it, it would download the next chapter. So when you started that chapter, it started downloading the next chapter.
Why would anyone want that?
I don't fucking know.
It's like, okay, hang on.
They stopped it, which is good.
The game so that you can play it faster. However, we're going to have to install more of it as you play it more. So instead of just before you started playing having a sizable install that might take, you know, an hour or two. Yeah. We're just going to take 5 minutes, but your whole game's not installed. Who wants that? Who wants to just be like, yo, I'm playing, and wait, you're installing?
Look, I'd be fine with it if it was, as I got to the next chapter, it had actually finished installing. I'd be absolutely fine with that.
That's unlikely to happen.
Not unless we had better internet speeds here. If we do, then that would be what. Like, I think that was the plan for it. When you had good internet speeds, it would be installed by the time you get to the next one.
Even then, like you're.
And we're not talking about good. It's like that's fiber to the house NBN here.
Like you're still taking a massive risk because like the internet, especially like when the 4 and the 1 came out, it to this day is still patchy.
Oh yeah. Look, it's getting better now that they're doing phase 2 of NBN.
It is getting better, but you know, at the same time, we live in a first world country. We shouldn't.
Oh, we were still running on ADSL back then. Yeah. When these came out, we were still running on ADSL.
Exactly.
Which was not good. We thought it was okay. And the NBN came out, and we were like, "Oh, hang on,
Do you want to know what the truth is? The truth is this: people think the internet is better than it is, especially people designing stuff that has internet connectivity. They're like, the internet's 100%. It's like, maybe in this tech-centric place where you design and build and live.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe in Silicon Valley, which is all about the tech, the internet is brilliant. Maybe in Japan, where Sony makes their games, the internet's brilliant. But in 90% of the rest of the world, the internet is average at best.
At best, yes.
And it's like, you know, maybe if I live in Brisbane or Sydney, in the middle of the city, and it's like, yeah, I can like install all of the big things and be streaming on all 50 of my TVs and have like a million of my friends over, all on my Wi-Fi, on their phones, and the internet's like, nah, bro, I got you. But out here, it's like, okay, I'm using 2 of my devices, and it's like, hold up, man, just calm your farm. I'm trying to figure out where the fuck I am.
I'll get there, just fucking Jesus.
Internet's just lost a little. It's like, I don't even know where we are.
How did I get to this rural town?
I want to be
Where am I?
Yeah, no. Actually, speaking about that, there is a funny story that came from my trip that I don't know if you know about.
Probably not.
So, me and Jordan are traveling, right? And we're using our phones a lot. And Jordan keeps going like, he's like, are you getting 5G? I'm like, yeah, I'm getting 5G. He's like,
He's been having that issue recently.
I never get 5G.
I think he needs to update his fucking SIM card.
No, we've solved the problem.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is now solved. Because as we're traveling through and doing stuff, and I said something, I'm like, oh, hold on, I've just switched my phone to power saving mode because like we were out in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, when we get back to the car, I'll charge it. He's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, cool. Turn it off. I'm charging my phone in the car. I'm like, oh, I just switch off power saving mode. And he's like, oh yeah. Goes to his phone, goes, oh, my phone's been in power saving mode for years. Turns it off. I got 5G again. For some reason, when your phone is in power saving mode, it's like, no 5G.
No. None happening.
That stuff uses way too much battery and will give you COVID. But yeah, so that problem he's been having for ages was because one day he switched his phone to power saving mode and never switched it out. His phone is like, I'm in power saving mode, no 5G for you. And he's been like, my phone just doesn't get 5G anymore. And it's just been, his phone's been like, no, keep that away from me. You'll use all my battery.
Don't enter me.
You'll use all my battery, my precious battery. And he's been like, dude, I just don't know what's wrong with my phone. Maybe I need to get it fixed or a new one or something. It's like, no, it's just this one little slider bar.
God damn it.
So he now gets 5G again, which is wonderful for him. But yeah, that we solved that on the trip when he was just like, oh, my phone's in power saving mode.
How would he never notice that it's in power saving mode?
Because I'm assuming, right, that he's on things where it's like the screen brightness, he would just go into brightness and up the brightness. And so the phone stays in power saving mode, but it's doing whatever it can against what he's doing that's using the power. It's being like, okay, well, you want the bright screen, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this in the background or something like that.
Yeah.
And for this one, it was just like, no, 5G, keep it away from me.
God damn it.
But yeah, that problem's solved.
It's hilarious. Because I remember him saying it before he left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was
Uncharted.
And yeah, I will be playing more of that. We'll obviously be playing all 4 of the main games. Yes. I think there is like a 5th kind of game that's a spin-off of the 4th game.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called right now, but I'm pretty sure you play as Chloe.
I can't remember.
She's the British thief that you meet.
I haven't actually played the Uncharted game.
Oh,
I also own the collection, but I haven't played it yet.
Fucking useless. But yeah, and yeah, so basically, when did I do that? Sometime between the 2 trips that I took, I turned on my PlayStation for like the first time in like a year.
Yeah, that's how
I did some updates, all that kind of normal stuff that you've got to do. And yeah, so remembering that I have it and remembering that it also has a bajillion like games on it, there's a lot more that I can play now.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, so...
Because every time I was thinking of something, I kept thinking PC, because it was on and I was looking at a list.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Look, yeah, remembering where that is, yeah.
You can even do a playthrough of Persona.
I could... No.
No?
No. No one has 130 hours for me to do a playthrough.
Fair enough.
I'll play it right. Actually, I could do a playthrough using one of my save files where I have the most powerful Persona already to go, and it's like, I've just got to do like the first like couple of missions where I have to use like the normal Personas that are level appropriate, and every fight's not just like, hold on, I got this. guys, don't worry about this. We're gonna fight this thing. It's like, no, don't worry about it. I literally have Demon God. Demon God, he good.
Yeah, he's fine.
He has unblockable moves.
Oh, nice. That's what you want.
Oh yeah, this guy's strong against this. Yeah, have you met fucking Demon God? Like, seriously, there are some in the fights that you get into where it's like, oh, this guy's got resistance to physical. So I'm just going to hit him with my knife because I have a literal demon god. Bang. Dead.
Yeah.
Resist being punched to infinity, bitch.
Yes.
But yeah. Like, I also have... Look, okay, let's be real, okay? Because, you know, Kris knows this about me, but I actually also own Persona 5 Royale.
Yeah.
So I have Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royale on my PlayStation.
I have noticed.
I have Persona 5 Royale on my Switch as well.
I'm not surprised.
What if I want to play it and I'm on the move?
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, so yeah. In the classic Darcy way, I actually own 3 versions of the Persona game.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised.
Oh, and I own Persona 5. Apparently, I own Persona 5, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 3 on my Switch. I didn't know about that.
Okay, I didn't know about those ones.
But I also might have them on the Xbox.
I thought the Japanese games were for the PlayStation.
No.
Oh, sorry. I thought the Japan games.
Japan.
The Japan games are for the PlayStation.
Some are.
And if you didn't get what I was exaggerating there, M instead of N. He misspelled it and left it, and that was it.
It's just a spray-on country. You're wondering about that? I don't even know where the joke came from, but apparently in America they have a spray like oil thing.
Okay. Yeah.
That's called Pam.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
as something happened, and yeah, it was Japan, and I was like, fair enough.
That'll do.
Yeah. So I've now remembered that I have a PlayStation that has like hundreds of games on it that I can also play. So there
And
might
it's
be some more of
not
that.
just a stand.
It is a convenient stand, though.
It's a convenient stand that a stand is sitting on.
Yes. Well, it brings those screens almost perfectly aligned.
Those two, yes.
Yeah. Well, they're the two that I worry about. That's that's a different screen. That's a whole other thing.
I mean, true, yes.
It's a whole other thing. But those two need to be, because look how in sync they are. They're synchronous.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Anyway, yeah, that's Uncharted. There'll be more of it. And I really want to try and get some Space Marine as well. So we'll see how that works. But yeah, PlayStation games. You'll be seeing some of them because we're not against PlayStation. We don't. You have it. It's not that we don't like them, and that's why you haven't seen their games. It's just one. I was actually going to leave some of that to Kris.
Yes.
Because he's more of a PlayStation person than me.
Fair.
And 2, I forgot I had a PlayStation.
Fair.
But
However, I keep noticing that you've got a PlayStation, but I don't ever say anything.
yeah, well,
So I just assumed you remembered.
no,
Whereas I have the big tower of a thing on my TV stand, so
it's gonna fall over and things are gonna come out of it and kill you.
I'm going to be like a distance away, so I might survive.
Magic.
I may just get some shrapnel.
I told you, Magic 8 Ball said that PlayStation 5s will fall on you and things will come out and kill you.
It's only if I lie down beside the TV stand. I think I'm fine.
Yeah.
It might break my foot, though.
Well, I'm very close to getting my new Xbox. And I have been like saying like I'm waiting until I actually felt that I needed one.
You feel like you need one now.
Yeah. A game came out that I couldn't play on the old Xbox that I actually really wanted to play, unlike all of the games I own for the new Xbox that I can't play on the old Xbox, but I'm like, yeah.
I feel like we discussed this, and I can't remember which game it was.
Well, the game you're thinking of is one of them is Resident Evil 4.
You know it is,
Because that's one of the ones I have that I bought for the new system. But the reason I'm not super stressed about getting the new system
Because
to play
you
that
haven't
right now
played the rest.
is
And you
because
don't know
I've
which
still
order
got-
to play it
I've
in.
still got this whole backlog to play.
And you still can't decide which order to play it in.
It's just a big backlog, okay? So it's like, oh, well, I could get the new Xbox right now so I can play the new game, but I know I'm not going to play it. I know I've got to play all the old ones first.
I know.
Okay? There's a lot of work that needs to be done there before I can even think about that.
Yeah.
But no, it's the new baseball game. The Show 25. The Show 25 is not on the old systems. And this is the real kicker, it's not on PC. So you need either a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X.
Oh.
And we've already talked about the fact that I'm not going to buy a PlayStation because they're putting all their games on Steam, and I'd rather just play them on Steam.
Yes.
But I already have a whole collection of games that need an Xbox Series X, and so I might as well get that. And if I'm going to get one, I might as well get a $900 one.
Obviously.
Because it has a bit of green on it.
Oh, yeah, obviously. Wait for it. It has a bit of a green on it, and it's more than likely going to be behind one of the screens. where you can't see the green.
That one.
Yeah. Yes.
But it also has lights on it, which I might see.
When you've got the other lights in the room turned off and it's reflecting off the wall.
Yeah, like, so when I'm walking out.
Or walking in, like, come on.
Or walking in. But yeah, no. Well, it's also got a 2 terabyte hard drive, which is nice.
Okay, that is nice.
That's nice.
That is really nice.
Yeah, because like a 1 terabyte hard drive, you give me like 10 minutes with that, that's full.
10 minutes? It's a bit of an exaggeration.
Look, my internet's not that fast.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, no, like, yeah, seriously, I'm like, this new Xbox, the limited edition one, I'm like, there is no reason to have it. Like, there is absolutely no reason that I need it. But I'm also just like,
baseball.
Well, I'm just more like,
There's always one game that sells it for you.
yeah, oh yeah, there is.
There is always one. It's like I keep saying to JB, he keeps asking me about getting the new, the Switch 2, and I'm like, I don't really have a use for it. I'm not using it at the moment. I rarely use it.
Yeah,
it's not going to
it'll be that one
happen.
game.
And then one game will come out and be like, fuck, I need it.
For me, it could be the new Donkey Kong game, but
Actually, yeah, fair point.
I'm also just kind of like sitting off that for a bit. I'm happy to wait a couple of years so that one game will push me over the edge.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But the second I get pushed over that edge, it'll be the backlog of games. So until it has an actual proper backlog, I'm fine there.
Ah, yeah, it's fair.
But anyway, yes, PlayStation games on the channel. Expect them. You'll be seeing them.
Yes.
Maybe. But it also might be Kris playing them, because I still do want things like Spider-Man and stuff. I don't have the new Xbox, so I don't have the new Spider-Man's new PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to play the old one. Or I might play the old one, because I like the old Spider-Man's face better.
Fair point. Fair point.
He looks like a Spider-Man. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
He looks like a middle-aged Spider-Man who's not having a good time of it.
Which is exactly Spider-Man's thing.
Whereas the new one, and I understand why they did it, they wanted him to look more like Tom Holland. There's no other reason. All this crap where they're like, oh no, it's because that he looks more like the voice actor, so it seems it was easier to match up. I'm like, fuck off.
But you'd already done the full game with him matching up.
None of that. I don't even care about that. I've seen people voice act lions and they put that on a CG lion and their facial structure is nothing alike. Do not give me that bullshit.
Oh no, yeah.
Okay? Take your bullshit and leave it.
Exactly.
What I actually want, and here's the truth, right? It's because he looks more like Tom Holland. But there is a problem with that. And I've always had this problem with it, is that Tom Holland is playing a teenage Spider-Man.
Which makes sense.
When you have the, like, 30 or 29-year-old Spider-Man looking like a teenage Spider-Man standing next to Miles Morales, and they look about the same fucking age, I'm like, no.
You're right. It is a bit too much of an exaggeration there. Yeah.
And, you know, like, I really liked, like, MJ from that game and Spider-Man. I was like, oh, they look like a good couple. With the young Spider-Man, it may look like she's a cradle robber.
Fair point, actually. Yeah, fair point.
Okay, so you know that's we're causing some problems there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I see your point.
But yeah, no, I really like the old one, so that's part of it. Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. that is what we're up to. We hadn't gone moving on to the next one, but the next one, the one that came out today, which is Wednesday,
Fucking on it
for us, is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes, more Red Dead Redemption. And let me say, just like straight off the bat, the last Red Dead Redemption video that came out before this one, fucking that popped off.
Yeah, it did.
That's our most watched full video because it has like over 1,000 views or something.
What happened?
I don't know. People just hate Micah.
Fair point.
But yeah, guys, this one's come out, and in this, you know, last episode, I was very much like, whatever I can do to not have to go and save Micah Bell, because he's a dick.
Fair.
And I don't want to spend time with him, not because I dislike him, but because he is unpopular.
And you didn't want to hear his voice.
And I didn't want to be around him. Yeah, because that would make me unpopular by association.
Fair point. I see your point.
But yeah, so that's why I didn't do it last time. In the recently released one, I have a very, very tough decision to make. For those of you who have never played Red Dead Redemption, cover your ears. Spoiler warning.
No, but okay.
So now that the ears are covered, basically, when Arthur catches tuberculosis, which is what kills him in the end, it is because of a mission at the very start of the game. I'm at the point where I can either go save Micah or do that mission. So I have a decision to make, and it's a pretty rough one. Do I go and help Micah, or do I catch tuberculosis and die a horrible death? Decisions. We all have to make them, and in this episode I have to make that one. So,
go watch it.
which one do I choose? It's tuberculosis. I got
It was pretty obvious. It was pretty obvious.
Yeah, that's right. We'll fucking die before we save Micah. But yeah, so that's that whole one's about like making the decision between do I get tuberculosis or do I go and help Micah? And guess what? Good news at the end of it. You know, there's a little bit of a thing. Still go watch it. It's a very fun episode. I can't remember what happens, but oh yeah, that's right. I talk a lot about killing O'Driscolls.
Yes.
Because that's what I do. But at the end of that, I still haven't rescued Micah, so another day well spent. He is still in jail, so everyone can be happy about that.
Solid.
Yes. But yeah, no. So yeah, that Red Dead popped off, and like, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I was in need of another video, and I was like, I can just do another quick Red Dead, and I did. Because obviously,
Was it actually quick though?
yeah, it was pretty quick. I edited that, filmed and edited that in the same day.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than I would have done. Mainly because I don't know what I'm doing with editing.
But yeah, and then of course we have Friday today, the day the podcast comes out. Guess what? There's actually going to be a podcast again. You would know that if you're watching this right now. So you figure that one out.
Yeah.
If you're not watching this right now, you don't know that. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But then again, if they're also not watching this, you're not talking to them.
Exactly. That's why they don't know.
But you were talking to them as if you were saying they didn't know.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't know anyway.
And guys, returning again, much like the podcast, is
A Minecraft.
Minecraft. Yeah.
Yes.
I filmed it today. I've got 2 hours of footage, so I'm hoping to split it into 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But if you guys remember the Easter video, basically I use boats and trains to get around now. You know, public transportation. It's happening.
Also, not trains.
Minecart's trains-ish.
Okay, fair enough. Whatever.
It's closer to a train than my feet.
Fair point.
There we go.
It is on a track, so I can give you that.
But to have a public transport system, you need buildings that the public transport can go into. Correct.
True. Yes.
So, I build the first one. Kris will probably not see it before the video comes out, but by the time the finished video comes out, he probably will have seen it because we'll be back in Minecraft.
Yeah.
But basically, I've finished the build. It's all finished now. It's nice. There's still a few things I've got to do, like outside of it. Obviously, the main building is built, but I've got to like do some fixes and make a few pathways and make it nice.
Okay.
But let me say, I'm very proud of how it came out. It is pretty much exactly what I wanted it to be. It sits in the shadow of my house, which is like nearly everything that we own sits in the shadow of my house because my house is fucking massive.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I was just flying around in like creative mode.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do when I'm doing these builds.
Obviously.
And I'm like floating there at the top of my house, being like, I can just see the bottom floor of my house. I can see the light coming out of one of my bottom windows. I'm like, my house is massive.
Come away.
I'm like, I spent way too much time on that, and it was all done in fucking survival mode.
It was. It was. Holy shit. Whereas that's how mine's going to be done too.
Yes.
Anything to do with
House building must be done in survival.
Yes.
That's the rules. I didn't make them. Yes, I did.
I was about to say for a second, who made those fucking rules? Because it wasn't you, it wasn't me. We're following rules that no one made.
No. Building that is not house related, that is like world or challenge related, can be done in creative. But building for yourself must be done in survival.
Yeah.
But I also did something else in Minecraft.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but I mentioned the monster hole.
The monster hole.
Yes, obviously he doesn't remember.
Vaguely?
There's an island slightly to the north of us, or
In
slightly
the opposite direction of the house.
slightly to. Yeah, well, yes, that's actually a better way because I don't know if it's north.
Yeah.
There is an island slightly away from us. You know, if you go away from home, what direction do you?
The opposite one. No, yeah.
But there's like this little island, and there's just this little hole, right?
Yeah.
I say it's a little hole. It's a pretty big hole, but it's just this hole, and you go down it, and it's this giant cave, right?
Yes.
And when the one time I got down it, there was like 10 creepers in there, so I called it the monster hole.
Fair.
But I recently went back to that island and found there's a second way. There's like a little crack ravine type thing you can also go down to, which leads into the same cave system. And we have to go explore this cave system. And I say cave system because I got lost in it. And while I was lost in it, I found an underwater lake. Sorry, an underground lake that was like massive. Like, you know that where you've been mining? Like that one that you made? That open area that you come down out into, like this underground lake is the size of that. And that was somewhere in there that I got lost. So then I ended up, it's a whole big thing. We've got to go explore the monster hole.
I feel like we've had a conversation about that.
We have to explore the monster hole. Also, like, it's terrifying in there. Like, I was in creative mode, so I was super safe. But like, I'm flying around, I'm like, okay, there is skeletons riding spiders. There is...
Did you say riding spiders?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck.
Like, there's like, just like...
Now they're fast.
I'm just standing there, and I'm just like, there's just like 10 spiders just sitting there, like, staring at me. I'm like, zombies, creep, everything, man. This place is so big, like, an Enderman's like teleporting across the cave from me, and the only reason I know he's teleporting is I see these tiny little puffs of purple smoke.
God damn it.
It's massive.
So he even keeps getting hurt. Isn't it a thing that they teleport when they get injured?
Or they just get pissed off.
I thought it was just when they got hurt.
No, they teleport. They'll teleport around. It's like they'll walk around, then they'll teleport, then they'll walk around, then they'll teleport.
Okay.
But yeah, so there is a lot coming in Minecraft. Obviously, I've got to finish building these other two public transport hubs.
Yeah.
I've got to build a railway out to a new place we're going to be going. Me and Kris have a challenge that we're going to build. He doesn't know about it. Don't you worry about it.
I'm worried.
And then I'm actually going to start planning the Christmas and Halloween this year's. I'm going to start working on that now because
while you've got 4 months,
I have plans.
Why did I say 4 months?
I have many months.
You've got 5 months. You've got a little over 5 months for the
Halloween one.
For the Halloween one.
Halloween one, guys. I'm planning on trying to build a super cool spooky house, which is going to use a lot of skills that I do not currently have.
Sounds right.
But if I can pull this off, it'll be super cool. We'll get to explore a super cool spooky house. Or more likely, Kris will explore a super cool spooky house. And
is it going to be made of timber?
Maybe. Parts of it may be made of timber. You will not have a flint and steel. Kris gets to explore it, and I will just be a helpful ghost man. Or maybe I won't. Who knows? I don't know yet. I've just got an idea. And for the Christmas one, I also have an idea. It's just big. It's in size. It's monumental, and I just think about building it. It's like that's going to take a lot of time,
obviously,
and
it ain't gonna be quick.
I also then don't know what I'm going to do with it once it's built. I don't know what the challenge is going to be, but I have an idea of what I want it to be on.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah. I've got plans, guys. I've got plans.
He's gonna rebuild the mansion.
I'm not gonna rebuild the mansion. It's gonna be way cooler than that mansion. It's also gonna be like way more claustrophobic. Like we're not gonna have giant hallways. It's gonna be like a 2-block hallway. You're gonna be walking down it, and then it's gonna be like bang! Oh no, skeleton zombie attack. Maybe.
Oh, so you're trying for the scare factor. Yeah, makes sense.
Not so much the scare factor as the fact of being like, oh no, I'm actually in trouble here.
Which would be scare factor if it's like, oh shit, it's a couple of zombies. Turn around. Ah, fuck, there's more.
You're not going to get a sword. I'm going to give you like a camera instead.
So we're going with an Evil Dead. No, Evil.
You can do it.
I actually can't remember the name.
Outlast.
Outlast. It's gonna be an Outlast type thing. That's a camera in Minecraft.
No. I'm going to give you a compass. So you can find your way through the house.
So I can find my way to the door.
Yeah, so that's you know, both of those are going to require a bit of work. Because I intend to do like a whole fucking like, you know, creepy kind of house type thing with like a creepy maze and a graveyard.
Nice, nice.
So you can do some cool exploring.
Nice.
Again, I don't know what the challenge is going to be. I just want to make a creepy house and have you walk around it. Might not even be a challenge. It might just be an interactive tour where Kris gets attacked by many monstrous things.
While sitting in a minecart.
No. You gotta walk it.
You're not gonna make it like a normal, like a
no,
or the haunted house that they have at shows here.
No, absolutely not.
Oh.
Mate, we do not skip cardio day. You will walk every step.
Fair, except for getting to the house.
You may have to take a train and a boat.
Yeah, I figured it was something.
But yeah, guys. So that's yeah. Minecraft. We've got plans. And yeah, as I said, hopefully there will be. Hopefully, I've got 2 days to edit it. It should come out.
It should come out.
But you'll get to see me working my building magic. You know, just kind of fuddling through things until they work. That's right. That's how I roll.
I'm aware. I'm well aware of it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think that just about wraps up channel news. Obviously, other stuff has happened while we've been away, guys. We did make sure we were at least getting 2 videos out a week.
Yes.
Some weeks we had 3 or 2. The shorts kept coming out. That's, well, mostly. It was very hard to kind of figure out when I was going to do shorts because sometimes I didn't have internet access, or sometimes it was like we were getting back and it was like, oh shit, it's like 6:30.
Huh.
And then I just didn't do it.
Fair.
But the shorts have been coming out. We're now up to 278.
279 last I looked.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Believe him, he's looked
More recently.
than me.
Yeah. Yes.
And just on that shorts thing, there are videos and stuff from my trip away with Jordan that will probably show up. Many of them are just like waterfalls and scenery kind of things, so maybe some of them might not pop up as shorts, but there are some shorts that will be popping up from our trip, so stay tuned for them. Let's move on from channel news and let's just talk about some other stuff. My trip. That's what's really been like buzzing with me for the last 2 weeks. So
I haven't heard anything about that trip.
That's what I've been doing. So we'll knock out the second trip first because that one's much less things happened. Well, yeah, sort of. So basically, I went away for 2 weeks. One was a fun trip with a mate. The other one was a family funeral. The family funeral was fine. I got to see members of my family. I went to a distillery and drank beer. I went to a bowls club and drank beer.
Did you play bowls?
No. Oh. I went to a pub and drank beer.
Huh.
And played pool.
Oh shit! That one threw me off.
Yeah.
Everything else has just been drinking beer.
And I watched baseball. And drank beer.
Obviously.
But no, guys. Yeah. So I was away. Caught up with family. It's kind of funny. We own like. With my family, I have two massive families. My dad is one of 9, and that's without his step brothers and sisters. And my mum is one of 13. So I have lots of relations, and we really only see each other at weddings and funerals. Yeah. And considering that me and my sisters are really the babies of both families, like on my mum's side, there's a few others who are in our age group. But on my dad's side, like, we are the youngest. Like, I have second cousins who are older than me on my dad's side.
Yes.
And so yeah, the weddings are mostly done, so it's now mainly funerals that we see each other.
It's unfortunate.
But yeah, so I got to see some of my relatives who I haven't seen in a long time. I saw, as I said, some of my second cousins who are older than me who I haven't seen since I was like 5.
Yeah.
And I actually saw one of my cousins who I haven't seen since I was 6, and he met my sister's kids.
Yeah.
Who are about the same age I was when I met him.
Yeah,
Now we were having beers together.
Oh, yeah, shit. Damn.
So yeah, it's been, I haven't seen him for something like, I think he said like 24 years or something like that.
That'd be about right, yeah.
And yeah, so like that was good. We caught up with everyone, you know, it was a funeral, so it wasn't great. But of course, it's also an Australian funeral, so like when everyone was like, oh yeah, well, we'll see you next one, I guess, we were all guessing who the next one was going to be.
Obviously.
Which is dark and cruel, but that's, you know, that's what you do.
Yeah.
And yeah. So fun fact with that trip, I actually traveled back to a place where me and Jordan had passed through on our trip. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna be here next week.
God damn it.
But yeah, so that was the funeral. You know, good to catch up with family, but you know, it was also a funeral, so you know, not the funnest times.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Now to the actual one that was a holiday. So basically, me and my buddy Geordie, you might know him. He walks like this. It's all with the head.
And he's been in 2 of the videos. I was about to say 1, then I remembered about the Halloween.
Yeah, and the podcast.
Yeah.
And a few shorts as well.
You're right, he has been in a few shorts, yeah. So more than 2 videos, yeah.
Yeah. So me and him went on a trip down the East Coast, kind of. Sort of on the East Coast, mainly because at some point we went in from the East Coast into the mountains, which are not on the East Coast, but also they're very close to the East Coast. So you might as well just say we went down the East Coast, right? Probably.
Fair, close enough.
So we went to Byron Bay first. We didn't actually stay in Byron Bay. If you know anything about Byron Bay, and if you are not from Australia, you probably know a lot about Byron Bay. In fact, it may be the only part of Australia you know other than like capital cities, because it's where a lot of celebrities go.
Yeah.
And everything is incredibly expensive. We bought like a hamburger that cost like $35.
What?
Yeah. It was an expensive lunch.
Obviously.
But yeah, so went to Byron Bay. Not gonna lie, there are many very attractive people there because the only thing to seem to do is to walk around.
Yeah.
And so I guess if you spend your days walking around, you are very fucking fit.
True.
We went to the lighthouse. It was, you know, we got some good footage. It was kind of cool. The lighthouse is the most eastern point of Australia's mainland. So Jordan got his picture next to that and is planning to get the southern and the western points because he's got the northern point.
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, you know, like, Byron was pretty cool. But also, yeah, it's a classic little beach town that's been gentrified. Very funny though, because you'd be walking along and you're like, you know, oh, a couple $1 million house, and like in the front lawn of that house would just be like a blanket and someone like selling tie-dye t-shirts. You're like, cool, so we've got millionaires and hippies living in harmony.
Yes.
As well as like all of the like super fit people who are just like gotta run up this mountain every day. But
yeah, that'll actually do it as well.
Yeah. We kind of like remember our trip to the Gold Coast, how like everyone was like really good looking. Well, like this is where the really good looking people from the Gold Coast come to spend their weekends because you know.
Yeah, fair.
And yeah, so we did that. That was pretty cool. We went up into the hills into this weird crystal place. Like it was called like Crystal Castle or something. It's kind of like a hippie commune in the hills. We paid like $45
That
to go
sounds right, actually, yeah.
And like they've got like all these massive crystals because obviously there's a lot of crystals up in the hills around Byron Bay. All these big crystal formations and stuff like that. They've got that. You can buy crystals there. Me and Jordan were just kind of like walking around being like, yep, radio. But then there's also like just like this kind of like Zen walk thing where there's like a big prayer wheel or something, and like all, you know, those little spinny things that you spin for prayers in like Indonesia and stuff.
Vaguely.
Yeah, there were a few of them. Me and Jordan made a joke about the pokies with them because Jordan was spinning them. I'm like,
Actually, you know what? I did see that.
well, Jordan was spinning them, and I was like, oh, did you win?
Yeah.
Obviously, our friend Jordan plays the pokies a lot, so whenever he's near spinning things, I'm like, oh, did you win? There was also a reflexology pathway.
Okay.
Do you know much about reflexology?
No.
It's like where you put pressure on your feet to relieve pain in the rest of your body. Or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, take off your shoes and walk on them. Now, Jordan's like wearing thongs. I'm wearing like my full-on shoes. So he takes off his thongs and like stands on the edge. I take off my shoes, put them on the ground, and then just like walk into the middle of it. And as I'm standing in the middle, I'm like, oh, actually, this is hurting my feet like fucking hell. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh god, no, it actually hurts really bad. Jordan's just stepped off, put his thongs back on. I'm like standing in the middle, being like, Jordan, I've got to get out of here, but I've got to walk across to get out of here. Why did I come in so deep? And he's just like, fuck you. Anyway, so
you're a dumbass.
Yeah, pretty much. And so we go through all that. We go through this lovely little rainforest walk. Obviously, we are not spiritual people or hippies, and so we're just like taking the piss the entire time. We made a joke about this little like peace temple thing that they've got being where they hide the Wi-Fi. Because Jordan's like, I have a really good reception when I'm next to it. It's like that's because they've got the antenna. But yeah, you know, like there was some pretty funny stuff there. And we're walking through, and Jordan's like, "There's a lot of Indians here." I went, "Yes, because they are very spiritual people."
True.
He was a little bit upset because there weren't as many hippie ladies there as he thought there would be. Mind you, the girl who like was sitting there at the front desk when we walked in, she was quite attractive, very hippie. Her name was something like, it was a type of tree. It wasn't willow. If it was willow, I would remember, but it was like a different type of tree.
Okay,
like, you're named after a tree. You are definitely a hippie. There was also this really cool like bamboo pathway where it's like all, you know, you see in like Asia stuff where it's like all the bamboos like, and it makes a perfect like little tunnel for you to walk down. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
And the last part about this, which me and Jordan probably found it so funny because we were there at the time, very hippie, but there's this little bench, right?
Yeah.
In this crystal garden and stuff, and it just has this lovely view because it's up high on the mountain and it just looks out over the rest of the valley and you can see everything. Me and Jordan are sitting there and I'm like, this is nice. And he's like, be better if we had a rum. I'm like, only you could be sitting here with me, and us being like, oh, this is nice, and being like, in this hippie commune, just being like, yeah, but alcohol would make it better. Let's rip down the crystal. Put a pub up there. That'd be great.
That'd be fantastic.
We can rip out the Peace Temple and put in some fucking pokies.
God damn it.
But, so we're sitting there and he's like, we're pissed. Like, he's like, yeah, it'd be nice if we had a rum. And then we started talking about ripping out the Peace Garden and putting in a pub and shit. And we just started pissing ourselves laughing because we were just like, yeah, that's good.
It's about what I'd expect, yes. God damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we left Byron. So we were actually staying in Lismore while we were visiting Byron because it's like 30 minutes away. Which is kind of crazy because it's like they feel like totally different places. But we had a pub that we'd visit because it was just a quick walk from our hotel room. And if you know anything about Lismore, which you probably don't, because you've probably never heard of it, but Lismore has these massive floods. Like at one point, in the last couple of years, it's had a 14-meter flood. The worst it had before that was 13 meters. And we're walking in the town center, and I see this pole, and it's like the 13-meter flood was up here, and I'm like, that's the second floor of all of these buildings.
Yep.
And we're in the middle of town, and I'm like, the one that was like 3 years ago was 40. That's a meter above that. And when it's like, I'm like, everything in this town was underwater. Yep. And there's this boat in the middle of a roundabout in the middle of town. Jordan's like, that explains the boat. And I'm like, yes, that's just where they didn't put it there on purpose. That's just where it ended up. So they were rowing around.
Yeah. It honestly reminds me of one of we're driving through a smaller town when I was younger. And I'm like, there's a piano in that tree. Why is there a piano in that tree?
Yep.
And it's just the same thing. Obviously, there was a flood. I don't remember where we were driving through, but
it was kind of cool though because we obviously explored the first day, and like there was like some pretty cool stuff. Like their main street was pretty cool. They had a lot of stuff. Definitely talked to Jordan about it because like he was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool. This is awesome." And I was like, "Yeah, this is actually quite nice." I'm like, "If Rocky, like this town is tiny compared to Rocky."
Yeah.
I'm like, this main street is nicer than Rocky's main street.
Not difficult though.
But yeah, so we had this little pub that we went to, and it was really funny because the pub, like the where the bar is and everything, is like 2 meters above where you enter. So you walk into this thing, and you've got to go up these stairs, and we're like, this is probably because of all the flooding.
You probably.
You can just come in and you just swim in, and just the bar's still, provided it's not a big flood, the bar's still open.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we left there and we went to the Blue Mountains, which was lovely. Right. Weird thing about the Blue Mountains, I think it was the first time Jordan's ever encountered autumn.
More than likely, yeah.
Lots of yellowy golden leaves on the ground. Yes. Lots of people of Asian descent in the town that we were staying, just constantly taking pictures of the leaves on the same street. We saw them when we arrived. We saw them the next day on the same street doing exactly the same thing. We're just like, not really sure what's going on.
Are they not used to seeing it?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I
mean, like, don't get me wrong. I haven't experienced autumn in that sense either, but
it reminded me of back when I lived in Victoria. Same trees.
Yeah.
With these god-awful crunchy leaves, but Jordan was like, raking would be hell. I'm like, yes.
Yes. Yes, it would be.
I got this, like, I don't know if I got the picture, I can't remember, but like, we're walking down this street and it's just leaves everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's exactly the type of picture that you see someone like post. It's like, oh, isn't life just beautiful? And then like, yeah, but we're sitting there being like, God, cleaning this up would be fucking painful. The reality of it strikes. But yeah, so that was, yeah, we were really confused because all of these people are like out with their cameras and stuff and like, you know, posing. And we're like, oh, okay, so that's kind of cool. They're here to pose. But then, yeah, it was like every day and every time we saw them, they were doing the same thing. And we're just like, I understand it the first time, but the second day of doing it?
A second full day of doing it?
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we were up in the Blue Mountains doing, well, we didn't do nearly as many walks as Jordan would have liked. Mainly because I don't think he was as prepared as he thought he was.
No.
Because I
don't think he knew what he was preparing for.
Well,
he had a vague idea.
We did one walk that was like an hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
And that was a pretty big walk. Now, I'll give you a little bit of stuff that happened on this walk. It took us longer than an hour and a half because at one point we were on this track and there's a turnoff and it's like, oh, this leads to something in the toll house. And we're like, oh, well, you know, we'll just shoot up this walkway. It doesn't say it's part of the circuit, so we must have to double back down it, but there's probably something up there. Because like we'd been to the grotto, which was a grotto. Mm-hmm. We were heading around to Cox's Cave. And we're like, oh, well, this toll house must be something else. And it was like called like the Fairy something. And I'm like, oh, it must be like a little shack out there. And like, so. You know, beautiful. No, it's just a path out of the track. The toll house, we're pretty sure, is a train toll house because it led to a train track. But we literally walked out of the bushwalk we were on, past a snake. That's a whole other thing. Yeah, we're walking along and Jordan's like, and then the bushman next to us goes, and Jordan goes, pretty sure that was a snake. I'm like, oh, I wouldn't worry too much about it. And I was like, actually, no, this is where the Death Adders are.
Yeah.
Maybe we should wait. He's like, what's a Death Adder look like? I'm like, fat. But yeah, so we literally were like following this path that we were like, yep, and like let out of the bushwalk. And then I'm like, George's like, okay, let's go back in. I'm like,
I just got out of this.
But it was crazy because we saw these two dogs, right, on the path that we were walking on, the circuit before.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay, so they must have come the other way, right? They must have come, because the circuit, you can go either way.
Yeah.
And we're like, they must have come the other way. Once we got to the other way, we're like, no way did those dogs do this. Like, climbing like this. Yeah. I'm like, dogs did not do this.
No.
Dogs did not do this.
They got to a certain point and was like, this is a bad idea. Back.
There is a chance they came down the path that we went out on.
Okay, yeah.
And they did the circuit. They did the, like, sort of easy circuit up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we went to the Grove, went to Cox's Cave. Then we got back to the top of the hill. I was dying. Jordan was loving it.
He does enjoy it.
But that was the short path, because there was another cave on this same kind of route. You just went a different direction at the start.
Yeah.
And that was a 3-hour walk. And so I don't think Jordan was prepared for there to be as many walks and for them to be
as long
as they were.
Yeah.
Because we ended up doing the first day we went to about 3 or 4 places. Lookouts were really easy because they're literally like 100-meter walk.
Generally, yeah.
But the paths were a bit harder. And there is a short that should be out by now that has one of the places we went to that was an actual hike to get to. A short hike, but a hike nonetheless. There were lots of stairs.
Yeah.
But if you're wondering which one it is, it's the waterfall one. There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did that. A lot of the hikes are many hours though.
Oh yeah.
And one of the places, so Jordan's pretty much planning to go back because nearly every place we went to, there was 3 or 4 different walks.
Oh yeah.
And like you could do one of them, which is like an hour, but like you could also do one there that's like, oh yeah, this will take you your entire day. This is a whole day.
Oh
trip.
yeah.
And I don't think Jordan was ready for the whole day trip. So
Well,
I
you
think he was
do
thinking,
you do a 6 to 7 hour walk, and that's all it is. You're done.
oh, yeah,
You are cooked for the day. There is no way you're doing it.
That's without 1,000 fucking stairs.
Yes. That's with mostly downhill.
But I think he was kind of thinking it would be like black down tablelands.
But it's just a bunch of short.
Where you know, like, oh, we want to walk to the waterfall, so it's like a 10-minute walk. Whereas it's like, oh, we want to go to the base of this waterfall, and it's like, right, we're at the top of the mountain, the base of the waterfall is at the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you can't just go, you've got to go that way and around and down. And so, so like a lot of the walks are like full day walks. And then of course there's Mount Solitude, which is this giant mountain in the middle of the Blue Mountains. It's like the only part in this little valley it's in. And that takes you an entire day to get up.
Yeah.
But if you want to do the whole walking track, it takes you 3 days to do that walking track.
Yeah.
And we also learned a fun fact that 2 people a day need police assistance in the Blue Mountains, aka to be rescued or to be rescued.
Yeah.
So I was like, very much, Jordan, we are not walking on any of these tracks after dark. That is ridiculous. We can't be rescued. We're fucking natives of this country. We're not going to add to the statistics.
No. No, we're not.
But yeah, there was really cool stuff. So he's planning to go back there. We'll probably do a bigger trip. I don't know if he'll be able to get anyone to come with him. I know there's a few people who'll probably be like, I'll do that kind of thing.
And then bail in the last minute.
Yeah, but also like I would go with him again, but I'm just like, I'm not the type of person that's like, okay, let's spend 6 days just walking.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That is a lot.
So I would go with him, but like I would let him go and do some of the stuff by himself if I was to go again. But he's convinced a few of one of his sisters to go. She's gonna take it like with her family or whatever. He's gonna do it again. As I said, it was a really good trip. We had a lot of fun. We saw some pretty cool stuff. It's exhausting though. Like it was like you think you're fit until you're fucking climbing a mountain. We also saw a baby. You know how I said the path was like this?
Yeah.
We got to the top of that and it's like leveled out a bit and we're walking along and then we see this like family coming down and like the dude has a baby strapped to his back. And we're just like, no, you're gonna want to change your mind very quickly.
Yes.
But yeah, so yeah, we managed to see a lot of cool stuff. As I said, lots of videos of waterfalls and stuff. I think if Jordan was to do it again, I would definitely recommend that he do it slightly earlier than we went or slightly later in the year. Probably wouldn't want to do it in summer. It'd be fucking unbearably hot to do those tracks. But it was probably also a little bit too wet when we went. Like, there was a lot of rain.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because it is.
The other thing
like the
is
end of the rainy season.
The other thing, well, they don't have a rainy season. They have winter. Wet and cold.
Yeah.
And summer, and spring and autumn. You know those types of.
Yeah.
They have all 4 seasons.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But like, I kid you not, like it was beautiful there. Like when it was cold and wet at night, and just sitting in the pub, having a drink, having a good feed, and being like, we can go home after this, have a shower, hop in bed, and just. It's cold and rainy, and it's just beautiful weather to be kind of lazy in.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they what was I going to say? I learnt that Jordan might not know what a waterfall is. Because well, he was like, I brought my swimming stuff for the waterfalls, and I was like, waterfalls is where water falls. You're thinking of swimming holes.
Yes.
And I went, and that's probably a very Queensland thing.
It is, because we don't actually have any proper waterfalls.
No, we do have waterfalls.
We do.
But most of the waterfalls end in
a swimming
lakes, kind of pools, things you can swim in. Whereas there, the water will fall and then just keep going. Yes. And it's like, oh, the water's only about this deep where it lands. It's like, yeah. Not every waterfall is a swimming hole. Some of it is just water, and like when there's
that's why it's so dangerous to go off of a waterfall that you don't know.
Well,
and it's just dangerous in the first.
The other thing is this: I don't know because I've never been to the waterfalls that he frequents, but something tells me they're about 10 meters to like 20 meters high. Like,
oh yeah, they wouldn't be high.
Large, but you're not super worried about it.
Yeah.
Whereas we're at this place and he's like, oh, I would like to go swimming in that. And I'm like, I wouldn't. And he's like, why not? And I'm like, well, first of all, the damage to that fence there is probably from water rushing past it and knocking down. And that's why that walkway's closed. Of course, I didn't stop him. But I was not. I had a fucked ankle. And I had literally used all of my strapping tape the day before. And I was like, that's great. And then the next day I was like, I have no strapping tape left. So the first day I managed to do the entire walk and no pain. The second day, after about an hour, I was like, I can't stand without pain. And so I wasn't particularly happy to be dragged around the second day. But I did it. I managed to get through it. And I even got a compliment from Jordan because he was like, you actually did the entire days. He's like, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, I'm super fit. He's like, but you didn't do it fast. You weren't climbing up mountains and running up mountains. It's like, but you did it. You didn't just be like, no, I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so, we're up at this place. And you can probably swim there. Like, it'd probably be relatively safe. But I went, that's been knocked over by running water. Yeah. I'm like, and that's the only running water. And I'm like, and because he had stopped to look at this place and stack some rocks up, that's apparently something he does. Yeah. I had gone a little bit further and looked down and I went, and 100 meters that way is the waterfall. And I went, and I can guarantee you it's about a 300-meter drop. Yeah. I'm like, so you know the waterfall is like that, you run and you jump off the rocks and then the rocks are like 5 meters up and halfway up the waterfall? Not these ones. No, these are like, yeah, that just goes to nothing.
Yep. It eventually lands on something. Eventually.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool. Like, it was very cool. As I said, if you get the chance to do it, I would definitely do it. You do have to plan yourself out. You cannot be like, I'm going to be there for a day. I don't know why people overseas do that in Australia. They go, I'm going to be in Australia for a week. I'm going to see it all. Bitch, our country big.
It's super big. It's very big.
Funniest one I've ever heard was someone who was going to travel from Sydney to Perth.
Yeah.
In a day.
I was like, no.
They're like, okay, so I'll travel from Sydney to Perth, and then I'll do a bunch of the stuff in Perth, and then I'll travel back to Sydney. I'm like, oh, how long is that going to take you? I think I should be able to knock that out in 2 days. Bitch, that's just traveling from Sydney to Perth.
That's one way. That's not even doing anything.
But
fucking massive place.
As I said, Jordan, I think, was a little bit shocked at that. Like, some of the walks were like, yeah, this is a 7-hour walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a multi-day track. And the other thing that I think took him a little bit by surprise was just how much money is in those hills. We're driving along at one point, and I'm like, yep, pretty much every house around us is a multi-million-dollar mansion.
Of course it is.
And I was like, and we're still in the cheap part. We got into the next part. I'm like, yep. And, the multi-million-dollar mansions became multi-million.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, remember the house, this plot of land where there were 2 houses, and like each of those houses is probably like 1.6, maybe $2 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, that now has 1 house and a big fence. And the house is like, you can see it, and you're like, yeah, that's probably about $5 to $6 million.
Yeah.
And he's like, why there's so much money? I'm like, because remember, we're about an hour out of Sydney right now. And people who have lots of money in Sydney don't actually want to be in Sydney for their time off.
No.
So they come here where they can still be close, but not
super,
but not
super
in
far.
the city.
Yeah.
It's like, because I was like to him, I'm like, if you were a rich businessman in the city,
Yeah.
you could live up here. I'm like, you go into the city, you stay in an apartment that you rent for Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
And it's like, on Friday, because you're the boss, you knock off at midday, you drive up here, you spend the weekend up in your multi-million-dollar mansion, and then on Monday morning, you wake up, you drive back to the city, you're back by lunchtime, and you start work, and no one says anything because you're the boss and you make the rules.
Yeah.
That's how I run this business. But yeah, no. So it was really good. And then we got back. We actually, on the way back, we stopped at the Sunny Coast. It was just a stopover. We had dinner with a mate who lives there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then drove home, and we did all of that in 6 days. And with 4 full days of traveling in that time.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Oh, it's a lot. That is a lot.
Massive.
Yeah.
It was massive. But we had fun. That's the big thing.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
I think next time we'll probably try to do like maybe 2 weeks in that.
I think
It's probably a better time frame because
I think this what a lot of what I'm doing with Jordan at the moment is just scouting is what I would call it.
yeah,
It's where we plan to go on a trip, we go, we spend a couple days doing stuff, and you decide whether or not you want to come back and actually do the trip. Because
Yeah.
I'd say 100%, if you're going to go to the Blue Mountains, if Jordan's going to go again, he could take 2 weeks and just do the Blue Mountains.
oh yeah, 100%.
And you know, he could go further afield than we went because we really stayed quite central around the place where we were staying.
Yeah,
There's probably more to do, and also
of
depends
course
who
there
he goes with. If he goes with new people, he'll have to redo the stuff he did with me.
True.
So he's got to do a lot of that stuff again. But yeah, it's definitely, I think, the way I describe it is like a lot of what we're doing at the moment is like the taste tester.
yeah,
Is this worth coming back and doing an actual holiday here?
makes sense.
And yeah, the Blue Mountains gets a tick. I
assumed it would have gotten a tick.
I think he's done Byron Bay. I don't think he needs to go there again. He might decide to, but I don't think he sees much worth there.
It might be for a quick stop, and that's about it.
Big thing I can see is like maybe if he's doing something like, because if you're staying in Byron, you just got the beach really. And I'm
Yeah,
like you can,
it's pretty much it.
and it's not. It's a big beach.
Oh
don't
yeah,
get
of
me
course
wrong,
it is.
but it's not the type of beach that Jordan enjoys. It's a
Fair.
beach full of people in the middle of a town.
Fair, yeah.
So maybe he goes again. Like I would probably go again, but like you'd have to be doing something like, hey, we're going to Byron to rent a boat and then just sail up the down the east coast or up the east coast.
Yeah, which
I'd be like,
makes sense.
sweet, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll drive,
Oh,
and then I'd be like, guys,
I don't know what I'm doing.
I hit a reef.
Yeah,
I thought you said you could drive. No, I just volunteered.
I volunteered. I have no idea what I'm doing.
All of these navigational charts mean nothing to me.
How do you know you hit a brief then? Did you not feel it?
How do you know we hit a reef then? I looked. Oh yeah, that's a reef.
That's reef. Oh, had some damage to the boat. Oops.
Wait, what do you mean you looked? Yeah, well, I was like, is that a reef? Steered the boat towards it. Yeah, that's a reef. But no, like, so I'd do something like that at Byron. But if someone says to me like, "Hey, we're going for a week at Byron," I'd be like, "No." If someone's like, "We're going for a weekend at Byron," I'd be like, "No."
You're fair.
You know, as much as I do love like going on holidays and being like, "Oh, we've booked a nice place and we're just gonna stay at that place and we're gonna go do a little bit of walking around."
Yeah.
For me, that's not the thing. Like, I don't want to be like, okay, I can do that at home. I can just sit in a couch at home and watch TV and drink and sit by the pool or whatever. I can do that at home. So there's no big thing for me to like doing that.
Yeah.
Like even think about our snow trip. We stayed in a very nice place. It was quite expensive.
Yeah.
But it was like, yes, that was where we spent most of our nights, but our days were spent either walking to the store to get me a chocolate milk, or
Just
up on
grab
the
one
mountain.
every day, yes.
You know what? Though?
And the one day I grabbed one, you were like, no, that's my thing. No.
Well, apparently, it's actually Jordan's thing. Man drinks chocolate milk like it's going out of fashion.
But you didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah, no, it's like in high school, it was like we'd be in the tuck shop line and they'd run up to us like, chocolate milk?
But like, yeah, like I was like, it wasn't supposed to be a thing. Like that wasn't a plan. It was just we were bad at planning our food and ended up
100%.
having to go to that shop a lot. And I was like, well, if I'm here, I might as well get a chocolate milk.
Yeah.
And then by the time we left, we'd been there like every day.
Yeah.
And the people who worked there were like, oh, it's these guys again.
Yeah, so these guys really didn't plan anything, did they?
These guys suck. That guy just keeps coming to buy chocolate milk. Hello.
That's all I want. We grabbed everything else we needed.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good. It was
Except for what he's buying and what he's buying.
As I said, I love doing these trips. Only thing that needs to change is just got to get that romantic side sorted out. That way we can travel with our partners and stuff.
That would be
It's lovely. It is lovely to travel with your bros, but it's also nice, especially if you're going to the snow
Yes.
and it's cold, to have someone to snuggle up to at night.
Yeah.
And I don't like snuggling up with Kris. He kicks.
Wait, did I actually kick you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I know I've kicked Jonathan because he's like, no, I'm sleeping in bed. I'm like, don't, please.
I was very tired.
He's like, no, don't. And he did, and then he ended up sleeping between the wall and the mattress. I woke up and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing there? Because it was like that this big. It was like barely anything, and he's just like, you kick.
See, at that point, I would have probably pushed you out.
Yeah, 100%.
Or lay on the floor myself. But no, that yeah. So that was a fun trip. Hell of a 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty full on.
Oh, of course.
Quite literally in like 2 weeks, I did something like 2 12-hour days, 2 8-hour days, and 2 10-hour days of traveling. So that's almost a week of just driving.
Yep.
In a 2-week period.
That's a lot of time. It really is.
Yeah. But, I'm back now. Everything's starting to fall back into pattern. Hopefully, we'll be able to, start refilling everything. Like, at the moment, nothing. I don't have any films, except what I'm currently filming or what I'm working on. So it's like, everything is like, film this quickly. It needs to be on the channel tomorrow. It's like the film, edit, go. But I'm hoping that once we get into, like, next week and stuff, I'll be actually more chill and be like, oh, got a little backlog here that I can I don't have to be like quickly. But yeah. So we're back. Everything's sort of back to normal. Things are good. Hopefully the channel will keep growing. Because if this does become financially secure, it means I can do stuff like this more often, and I don't have to come back to a job. I can come back and do this and earn money. Yeah, it was a good week. Good weeks. Good weeks. Tiring weeks.
Of course, but
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, that's what I was up to. Kris, what were you up to?
I was working.
Fuck all.
Yeah, fuck all. Fuck all. I got new tires.
Fuck all.
I got a service done on the car.
Fuck all.
That's about it. That's
I feel like I spent my money way funner than you.
I did. Yeah. Did realize something though.
Go for it.
It's been 8 months since I injured myself last, so if my theory is correct, sometime this month, I'll be on this podcast, and we'll be talking about an injury.
Here you go. I injured my wrist a week ago, 2 weeks ago. No, a week ago.
What the hell did you do?
I was playing softball.
Oh, yeah.
And I slid, and all of this was bruised,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of pain here.
Ooh.
I know I didn't fracture my wrist. It's actually feeling better now. But it was like I couldn't do this without pain.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, so it's not fractured.
So if you didn't see what he was doing, this.
That still hurts a little bit up in here. That I couldn't do because it hurt too much in there. I can do it now. I can actually push pressure there, so it's pretty good now. It's all healed up. Oh, it's healing up. But I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure it's not fractured. Like, it could be chipped.
Could be chipped.
But I'm hoping it's just bruised. And it seems to be bruised. But I went to the gym the other night, and I was like, I'm gonna do some back exercises and pulling.
Oh.
I'm gonna see how this goes, and it was fine.
Oh, okay.
Mostly.
Yeah.
But like even now, there's still a little bit of soreness in it, but yeah, it's nowhere near as bad as it was. Like if I do this, it hurts, but it's not unbearable pain like it was before.
Well, yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah.
To be better than unbearable.
Yeah, I can bear it.
That's what you want.
But yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
As I said, guys, there are going to probably be quite a few shorts. I have a lot of footage that I have to go through from my trips to the mountains. If you're interested in seeing some of the cool waterfalls, I recently found out something I can do on shorts, which is really cool because I can put together all of these different videos I have of different spots of a singular waterfall creek thing. I can put them all together in order, and so you can see the whole trip that we had down this thing. But when I say down, we were walking next to it. We were not riding this waterfall. Remember how I said it's like a 200-meter odd fall?
Yeah.
We were not riding the waterfall down.
No.
But yeah, so there will hopefully be some shorts coming out. Some of it might just be views and stuff with obviously touristy sounds in the background of other people running and screaming and children screaming. There were lots of children screaming.
I'm not surprised.
I'm pretty sure we ran into a bunch of Dutch backpackers at one point.
Okay.
They were definitely European.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was weird. It was weird. But yeah, we had a great time, and but we're back now, and everything's back to normal. So, yay,
Yeah.
yay.
Yeah.
But guys, that's about all the time we have for today. I hope you have enjoyed my stories about my trip. Yeah. If you've liked the video, consider liking, sharing, commenting, or subscribing. If you haven't already, it really does mean a lot to us here. We are definitely trying to hit that 1,000.
Yes.
But 300's not too far away, and we want to hit that first.
Obviously.
Because that's how numbers work.
No. We want to hit 1,000 first, then... No, actually, we don't want to get 300 after that.
No,
Maybe
that would be
another 3. Maybe another 300.
Woo! 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 Let's get 300. Hey,
then we become
guys
the
just
worst.
fuck off.
Then we just become the worst people.
But yeah, guys, if you liked it, consider liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. If you want to see more of us, check out the rest of the channel. We play video games. Sometimes I'm by myself. Sometimes we're together. Yep. Sometimes we're not even playing video games. We're just having a chat like we are now.
Yeah.
Yes. Anything else?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up.
No. Well, guys, then in that case, I've been Darcy. He's been Kris.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. And we'll catch you next time right here on the channel. See you
There
later.
you
That's my hair.
Can you not see it in the camera? I can only see you.
I can't see me because of the camera's placement.
Yeah. So, wait, can you see me?
I can see you perfectly.
Oh, so see, we're in the same situation here. I can't see me. I can see you.
Anyway, let's get started.